presented by RTV Global Network. Today, we are looking at a story defined by a really profound paradox.
Yeah, it's a fascinating one.
I mean, I want you to imagine a voice so undeniably powerful that she won her country's first major film award.
Right?
But then, imagine that same voice being deemed so provocative that she was later completely banned by state radio.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about.
Only to have that very same broadcasting corporation, like decades later, eventually name a studio in her honor.
It is the ultimate full circle moment, really.
It's almost like a superhero origin story, but, the hero's greatest superpower is simply her voice.
Absolutely.
So welcome to this deep dive. Today, our mission is to explore the 82-year life and the nearly 7-decade musical legacy of an absolute Sri Lankan icon, Nanda Malini.
And, if you're wondering why you should care, especially if you aren't already steeped in Sri Lankan musical history, it's because this isn't just a simple timeline of a singer.
No, not at all.
Right. It's a masterclass in how a single artist can really reflect the soul, the struggles, and the everyday realities of an entire society across multiple generations.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's unpack this. Because to really understand the icon, we have to start with her beginnings.
Right. The early years.
Yeah, she was born on August 23rd, 1943. In Luandua, Aluthgama.
Which at the time was deep in the rural heart of the country.
And it's such a stark contrast to the legacy she built. I mean, she was the fourth of 9 children, born to a tailor, Vincent Pereira, and a housewife, Lanage Emily Pereira.
Right, very humble roots. 9 children in one household.
Yeah, which makes me wonder, and I have to ask, how does someone from a rural working-class background with 8 siblings even find the space to discover a musical gift?
Well, that's just it. There really wasn't any luxury of space.
Right.
I mean, her father was constantly working a sewing machine, so her ear was naturally being trained to hold a melody over this loud mechanical clatter.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, the talent had to be entirely resilient. And it survived in the background until the family made a really pivotal move to Kotahina in Colombo during her adolescence.
And that move changes everything.
It does. At her new school, Sri Ganananda Vidyalaya, she met a teacher named T.N. Margaret Pereira.
Who is super important, right?
Extremely. She was the crucial mentor who first recognized and actually nurtured that raw talent.
But, I mean, raw talent is one thing, right? Getting it heard by the masses is a completely different story.
Oh, absolutely.
Which brings us to her big break. In 1956, she wins a gold medal at a Padya Gayana, which is a poetry singing competition at the Barela YMBA.
Yeah, Padya Gayana is an incredibly demanding classical form. You can't hide behind instruments.
Right. And then comes her radio debut. But when we look at the historical record, it's a little tricky, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Sources actually differ on exactly who brought her to Radio Ceylon.
Okay.
Some accounts credit her teacher, Margaret Pereira, while others say it was the legendary musician W.D. Amaradeva.
Right, the classic historical discrepancy.
Exactly. But regardless of who opened the door, she walked through it. She joined Karunaratne Abeysekera's children's program, Lama Mandapaya, and she sang Budu Sadhu.
Which, honestly, is kind of like going viral today.
Oh, totally. It was an instant, massive impact on public recognition.
But she didn't just, coast on that early fame.
No, not at all. She was relentless about her education. She studied under B. Victor Pereira, attended the Haywood Institute of Art, and then, this is huge, in 1963, she traveled to India.
To the Bhatkhande Music Institute.
Yes, exactly, where she earned a Visharada qualification.
Wow.
And that rigorous classical foundation really prepared her for a medium that would completely cement her stardom.
The silver screen.
Yes.
So around 1961 or 1962, sources vary slightly on the exact date. She makes her film debut. She sang for Ranmuthu Dua, which was Sri Lanka's very first full-length Sinhala color film.
What's fascinating here is how all these legendary pieces just perfectly aligned.
Right.
She sang the duet Galana Gangaki Jeevith with Narada Disasakara. It was directed by W.D. Amaradeva, and the lyrics were by Chandraratne Manawasinghe.
Which was his first film song, right?
Exactly.
And the impact was huge. The film basically swept the Sarasaviya Awards. And Malini actually took home the first ever award for female playback singing.
Yeah, they literally created the benchmark for female playback singing because of her.
That's amazing. And she kept building that reputation on Amaradeva's Madhuvanthi radio program, doing songs like Sanalian.
Right, showing off that incredible stylistic range.
But, while film and radio made her famous, she clearly wanted a more unfiltered connection with her audience. which led to her legendary solo concerts.
The sheer scale of those concerts is hard to wrap your head around.
Wait, I really need to stop and ask about this because the numbers are insane. She did 530 shows in the 70s.
Yeah.
And then, like, another 500 shows for Satyagitaya in the early 80s.
That's right. Over 1,000 shows in about a decade.
That is a level of vocal stamina that modern pop stars would absolutely envy. How is that physically possible?
It all comes back to that Visharada training in India. She learned how to sing from the diaphragm, not the throat, which protected her vocal cords through all those marathons.
Wow. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And during this time, she was also pioneering a massive thematic shift in the music itself.
Right.
She moved toward highly realistic depictions of everyday life, particularly women's inner lives, with songs like Sudohamin and Pipunu Mel Rua.
Yeah, giving voice to experiences that weren't really being talked about.
Exactly. And she was brilliant at blending humor and profound loneliness, like in the song Mandanawa Karanawa. She essentially helped start a new chapter in Sri Lankan classical music.
But that realism eventually led to some serious friction with the establishment, specifically the Pavana concert series from 1987 to 1988.
Right, which was a series of 205 shows.
But she didn't hold back in those.
No, she didn't. The songs in this series directly addressed the social and political issues of a very turbulent time in Sri Lanka. And because of this, they were banned from broadcast by the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, the SLBC and Rupavahini.
Which is a massive deal.
It was. And just to look at this neutrally, without taking any political sides, the factual occurrence of that censorship had a profound cultural impact. It was a huge institutional roadblock.
But despite that friction, her artistic weight just couldn't be ignored forever. Eventually, she became universally recognized.
Oh, without a doubt. The accolades she collected later on are just a mountain of achievement.
Yeah, let's rattle some of these off. 11 to 12 Sarasaviya Awards.
Incredible.
8 to 10 presidential awards. And she was voted the most popular female singer from 1995 to 1998 continuously.
And she broke major academic ground, too. In 2017, she received an honorary doctorate in fine arts.
She was the first female artist to ever receive that from the University of the Visual and Performing Arts.
Exactly. She also received a Lifetime Achievement Award in 2024.
But, and here's where it gets really interesting, in 2025, the very same SLBC that had banned her work in the 80s actually named a broadcasting studio in her honor.
I mean, you can't write a better ending than that. The institution itself had to adapt to her legacy.
It's beautiful irony. But, you know, she didn't just want to collect awards and sit back.
No, she wanted to ensure that the music outlived her.
Right, which leads to her institution building. In 1984, she created the Nanda Malini Sangeeta Ashramaya.
Yeah, and through this academy, she became this master teacher. She actively shaped and trained generations of new vocalists.
And she didn't stop performing herself either. In 2010, she made a triumphant return to the solo concert stage with Shweta Rathria.
Yeah, after a 22-year gap from major solo tours.
Which just proves her multi-generational appeal. People who saw her in the 70s were now bringing their kids and grandkids.
Exactly. She was a permanent fixture in the culture.
But unfortunately, this incredible 7-decade journey recently came to its physical end.
It did.
Nanda Malini passed away on August 20th, 2026. She was at her residence in Nawala, Colombo. She was 82 years old, actually, just 3 days shy of her 83rd birthday.
Yeah. Her death was confirmed by family, as well as by the president of the Sri Lanka Singers Association, Kirti Peskel.
Right.
And we must explicitly state for you listening, there was no official cause of death announced, so we are strictly avoiding any speculation and just reporting the confirmed facts.
Exactly. And the nation really mourned her. Her remains lay in state on August 21st, and tributes just poured in from all corners of society.
The government even declared 3 days of national mourning. It was a massive collective pause for the country.
It really was. So you just took a deep dive into the life of a tailor's daughter who became the voice of a nation, you know, navigating film triumphs, state censorship, and all these academic honors.
And we connect this to the bigger picture. It leaves you with a really profound thought. When an artist spends 70 years documenting the emotional reality of a country, do they just reflect the culture or do they actually create it?
Wow, yeah.
Right. What happens to a nation's cultural memory when a voice that defined it finally goes quiet?
So what does this all mean? It means the music never really stops. Keep listening, keep learning, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.